can share your message of support at boostup.org. We can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step. Brought to you by the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Executive Entrepreneur Hour with Johnny Profit. I have Clark Wigley on the line with me. Clark, hello.
Hi, John.
All right, he's still with us. So, I want to make sure that everyone knows about the event again that you have coming up. You just talk about that one more time.
Sure. We're giving two talks. The first one is sponsored by Metropolitan Life. It's on Wednesday afternoon, the 25th. It's from 4 to 6. And it's going to be in Houston, and that talk is going to be about the corporate life cycle. And if your listeners want to know more, they should contact Bill Huff. And Bill's phone number is 281-705-7603. And then we're giving a second talk on Thursday afternoon, same time, 4 to 6. It's going to be sponsored by Iberia Bank. Now, that talk's different. That's a talk about building perfect management teams. So the Wednesday afternoon talk is about managing your company's life cycle and learning how to do that. And then the second one is talking about building perfect management teams.
Is there a fee?
No, because they're sponsored. The first one's sponsored by Metropolitan Life, so that fee's covered, and the second one's sponsored by Iberia Bank, so it's free. Yeah, and in fact, refreshments are provided. So show up.
Exactly. There's
get
no
a free
reason.
glass of wine and learn something.
That's right. There's no reason not to take part, and only because you're getting expertise, you're getting information, knowledge, insight from individuals that are doing it on the level most people claim they want to be on one day.
Absolutely.
So that's why I had no problem saying, sure, come on the show. You know, I'd love to hear more about it. If we get back into this life cycle stuff, can you
Sure.
Where do we want to dig in?
Well, I guess the key, just to give your readers maybe a taste of some of the specificity that we're talking about. When you first start a business, and you're an entrepreneur and you first start a business, what kind of leadership style is important? What kind of decision-making style is critical to the health of a brand new infant organization, we call it. And for us, it's a dictatorship. It's absolutely critical that, to maximize the health and success of the business as quickly as possible, that the founder have a very strong hand on the tiller, that the founder make all the critical decisions and move the business very quickly forward. And sometimes you find founders that come out of large corporations that had a much more collaborative business style, and they try to use that collaborative business style when they're an infant organization. It doesn't work. It slows the organization down, makes the infant not as healthy as it is. But then, when your organization starts to get successful and you start to get traction and you start to build revenues, and let's say you're now a $5 million business, and you've got multiple product lines and multiple customers, you go into this next stage that we call the go-go stage, which is sort of the equivalent of like a 12-year-old business or a 15-year-old business from a human standpoint. And there, what's the right leadership style there? Well, the dictatorship doesn't work. As the organization gets bigger, the dictatorship needs to give way to what we call a democracy, so that there is a much more collaborative approach to decision-making, because the organization is bigger and it's much more complicated, and one person, I don't care how smart they are, is going to not do as good a job making decisions as a team of people would. So we get this kind of democracy thing going on where the founder is collaborating with people to help him make better decisions rather than being a dictator.
Now, is there a dollar amount or a number of employees between these stages where you can actually say, here's where we were, here's where we are, as we transfer between like courtship, infancy, and go-go?
See, what's interesting about the life cycle, unlike the human life cycle, the corporate life cycle is not driven by age. It's not
You got one lane closed between 45 and the Valley, and two closed between Imperial Valley and the toll road till the end of the year. Get traffic and weather every 10 minutes on the 9s on News 92 FM.
For your Saturday, expect tapering showers. We are going to see drier conditions later this evening. Temperatures today stay in the 80s. Clouds break apart overnight. Lows in the 60s for your Sunday morning. Afternoon high temps in the mid to lower 80s. By Monday and Tuesday, expect more sunshine. Temperatures will slowly start to climb back to the low 90s and get ready for a pleasant week ahead. I'm KHU11 meteorologist Cheetah Johnson.
The Redshift Riders Revenue Flight Plan brings your brand into laser-sharp focus, providing everything you need to perfect your message and strategy. They cover the most important strategic elements of your brand, positioning you to solidify market share and accelerate earnings. Request your revenue flight plan at www.redshiftriders.com/flight plan. www.redshiftriders.com/flight plan.
Saving energy saves you money. Whether you switch to Energy Star light bulbs, install Energy Star appliances, or add extra insulation. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
In the real world, great opportunities don't just happen. If you want to achieve the absolute advantage over markets and rule the competition, then listen to News 92 FM every Saturday from 2 to 3 p.m. as the Executive Entrepreneur Hour with Johnny Prophet guides you to the economic promised land. Each week, you will gain insight about his 4 key concepts for success. Find the money, know who controls the money, what you need to know to get the money, and where you need to be to win. For more information, go to eehour.com.
News 92 FM, 92.1 FM, and streaming live at news92fm.com.
Welcome back. The number up here is 713-622-6397. Give us a call and you can talk to Clark yourself before you attend the workshop. So you're flying in for this, Clark? Is it
A month.
okay? One more time, say it again.
I come to Houston about once a month.
Okay, excellent. So you get an opportunity to meet him in person. So again, get a hold of Bill. Bill's at 281-705-7603 to find out how to register and get involved in the sessions that are coming up here soon, here in Houston. So
That'd be great.
So when we left off, we were talking about this whole aging thing and how the recession, and if we could continue on there, because again, I saw a lot of companies that really were stable, but the economy, from the outside, it appeared the economy pulled them apart.
Yeah, and that's usually not the case. So, I mean, the economy definitely impacts all companies, but, you know, whenever there's a change like that, I mean, that's a great opportunity to change market. That's when market share changes hands. So entrepreneurial, adaptive companies thrive in all kinds of change in difficult times. And it's the aging ones, because if you just think about it, again, going back to the human metaphor, an aging person is stiff, and they're strong still, but they're stiff. They typically are not flexible. They can't move quickly. So they've kind of lost the entrepreneurial spirit. And simplistically, that's what causes aging in companies, is they lose vitamin E. They lose the entrepreneurial vitamin. So oftentimes, it's true that, it's difficult times, but whenever you look at that situation, John, and you research, the winners and losers, there's always winners and losers in that situation. Absolutely. And so what you're talking about is the losers. And why were they losers in this? Because they weren't able to adapt, So the Darwinian thing is what kicks in, right? Because Darwin was right. It's not the strongest or the quickest or the fastest or the smartest. It's the most adaptive that win in the long run. So that's what we're talking about.
That is awesome. Okay, so we go through the life cycle. What can they expect when they show up? How long are the sessions?
2 hours.
Okay.
It's a 2-hour talk, and it's an entertaining talk. I think we're going to talk about things that they probably never heard before if they're not familiar with these concepts. But it's practical and pragmatic. So we spent a lot of time trying to teach them specific tools that they can apply, because what we want the guys to walk out of there is an understanding of where their company is in the life cycle, what the key things are that they need to do differently to get their company to be more successful and to accelerate the journey to prime, because we call prime the place to be, and that's when you can enjoy market-leading profitability, market-leading growth. You know, you're a dominant player in your marketplace. And so that's our game, is building dynasties, building highly successful companies and getting them to prime and then keeping them there. So that's what they're going to learn, is wherever their company is on the life cycle, they'll learn that, and then they'll learn from a management standpoint they have to do to get their company to prime.
So what's the sweet spot for this training? What are the ideal folks that could take full advantage of this?
Well, it's best to bring a team, obviously. So a founder and their top 2 people, something like that, CEO, president. This is leadership training. So although, you know, people who aspire to be the CEOs will benefit, the people who will benefit the most are obviously the people that are currently leading the company. But, you know, the current and future leaders, and we invite and encourage a company to bring 2 or 3 people so that they all get to hear the talk, and they can hear, because they'll hear different things and they'll see different things, and it'll be more effective and more impactful on the company that way.
Is there a space limitation? Do you know?
Yeah. So it's first come, first serve, and I don't know. Bill will know what the numbers are. So people should call. If they're interested, call and get registered, because we'll fill the room.
Right, and just in case you're driving or you're sitting somewhere, it's 281-705-7603 to get a hold of Bill to find out if you can get in, because once they're out of space per the fire marshal. So it's important that you be first mover on this. And again, I wouldn't, you know, I've researched this program, the theories and the hypothesis behind it, and it's really in line with the way I teach and the way I instruct people on how to do business. So
that's great.
Let's see. So,
common sense. Common sense, right?
And it's amazing. You know, we say that, but we realize how uncommon common sense is these days.
Yeah, that's true.
And so you meet business owners and, you know, the more I look at this, the more it makes sense, where they really go into business, taking what they learned from corporate, which may have been a stable organization, and they apply what they learned there into their brand new baby, and they can't understand why it doesn't work. Or the other way around, you know, they go out and buy a company and have never operated and managed anything, and things, you know, it falls apart. So,
Yep.
Let's see. So if they want to get a hold of you right now, it's just best to go through Bill and meet you when you get into town?
That'd be great. I mean, I'm happy to give people my phone number, and my email is too. I mean, my cell is good 24/7 is 650-279-7552, and my email address is simple. It's Clark, CLARK, at adizes.com, which is ADIZES.com.
Clark, I want to thank you for being on the show today. You've brought a wealth of information, and I'm looking forward to seeing you when you get into town.
Well, I hope I can buy you a cup of coffee. Thanks, Sean.
I appreciate it.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So, another week, another entrepreneur. Actually, we got 12 new ones today. So in class, we had class this morning for the Young Entrepreneur Academy. And so we came up with 12 new businesses that are going to be, like, incredible. So with that said, I just want a quick reminder that a buddy of mine is having an event coming up here soon. It is the Houston Black Internet Business Reception and Wine Tasting. Just for the details, let me see if I can find it, if we can get it. Otherwise, go on the website. I can tell you it's going to be on Wednesday, September 25th, 5:30 to 8 p.m., so look that up. Once again, we'll see you next week. Have a wonderful, wonderful, productive week.
KROI Seabrook, Houston. News 90.